Like many of the people on our team, I met Jason in 2008 when he joined our Space Dragons family. And if we look around the room right now, clearly the room is packed, and it's really a product that, although it was just in 2008, in such a short amount of time, it's had such a resounding effect on so many people's lives. For our team, he wasn't just an ideal team member. He was a trustworthy, reliable friend. For many of us, he was a very wise mentor. He was a coach's dream. And for me, he was also one of the favorite people, just frankly, that I ever competed with or paddled with or raced with. I have very fond and, very clear memories of sometimes, in a lot of races, actually being at a start line or in the middle of a grueling set, just in the hardest part of a race, and we're going at it, and, you have trust in your teammates and everybody's giving it their all. But with Jason, it was actually, he transcended that. It was actually more with Jason. With Jason, he was the kind of guy, like, when I saw him and he was cranking away, paddling away, I had a lot of peace in that heated moment, knowing that there was no place else he wanted to be at that moment. And that I knew he was just enjoying the ride, and he was just having so much fun pushing that boat as fast as it possibly can go, as clearly as, he's done with cars as well. But really, so when I'm grueling, when I'm suffering, when I see someone like that, it lifts me up and it makes me feel stronger. And I think that's just an analogy of how he lived his life. He was always in the moment. He was always, when he was there with you, he was there with you. You had his attention, and he lived life for that moment. And I really appreciated and admired that, and I'm inspired by that, frankly. And it was funny, after he joined the team in 2008, it was very shortly thereafter. As a new team member, he already started organizing these team functions. He would organize hey, after practice, it's not enough. Let's go on a bike ride, and it's going to be really long, and it's going to be grueling, and you should come with me. And he would do things like that, and he would also take people out along, the yachting, the sailing, and that was really cool. In fact, actually, with the cycling thing, it was funny. We have a website, right? And still on the top of the website is still the same logo. And I think Janet actually created that logo. It's the Space Dragons Dragon Boat Racing Team, right? Here's this guy, probably a few months into his paddling career. He creates a copy of our site, essentially. And with the same logo, he puts a big red X over, I think it's a red X, a big X over the Dragon Boat part. It's like Space Dragon Cycling Team. And he would, try to get everybody going. And, it was great because what he was doing was he was bringing people together to try to help live a better lifestyle and bringing the team closer together. But really, what I remember and take away most, and what I will always appreciate Jason for, is that the way he did that and the way he carried himself. He never invited select groups of people. He never came up to certain cliques. He never went to certain friends. The guy, it was an open invitation, a true open invitation to everybody. Because frankly, he treated everybody the same. He had the same level of respect for everybody. I think everybody can agree with that. And I think that's really hard to find, actually. I think people really struggle with that. And it's not easy. We always want to be around the people we're closest to, but he transcended that. I spent a lot of time thinking about that, and I was like, how can a guy, naturally he's very outgoing, he's very friendly, so it's easy for him to talk to people. New people would come in, you'd be in the corner, kind of shy. He was the kind of guy, he would go straight at them, big smile, crack a joke that was probably inappropriate, make them feel at home, bring them into the family. He was always that guy, right? And I always wondered, how the guy has a gift in doing this, and it's almost like he has no insecurity, that he can approach anybody. And, I actually thought to myself, I wonder if it's a product of his life, especially in his older adult years, that he grew some wisdom, or whether it was a product of just how he was by nature. But I'm getting the gist now, Chad, based on what you read, that is probably based on nature, since he was probably the same way in 11 years old. He didn't have much insecurity, But, all joking aside, I really admired that he never allowed any insecurity to get in the way of how he wanted to live his life, how he wanted to treat people. He never let any concept of shame, embarrassment. He didn't want people to have those feelings in how they live a life, because that's how he lived his life. There was no concept of that. And like people have alluded to, I really feel that he had a gift of not judging people. He never judged people for character flaws or mistakes they've made. And I don't know very many people that are like that. And I think he's a role model in that sense. And I really appreciate that from him. Speaking of Vancouver, I don't want to run over my time, but since we're talking stories, I do want to share my personal favorite memory with Jason, and it is from the same Vancouver trip. We had a great time in this big festival. The whole team did very well, had a great time, and we paddled hard. 2 long days of training, 2 long days of paddling, racing. Great satisfaction with the team. Everybody in our team, we all headed to the beer garden after the race. Had good drinks, enjoyed each other's company. We went off to bars, didn't even bother going back to the hotel to change. We were all stinky, still in our Space Dragons jerseys, hitting local spots, having a good time, enjoying each other's company. It was a great night. And they came in the night, part of the night, I think it was probably 9-ish or whatever, They said, tonight we're going to a club. A lot of great teams are going to this club, we're going to go dancing, right? So all of us go back to the hotel. And as we go back to the hotel, everybody's changing. And then Jason and I change real fast, we're all ready to go. And we give Tron a call. And we call, hey Tron, what are you doing? You ready yet? And then Tron picks up the phone, and Tron always loses her voice in the races, right? So she's always like, it's actually, I'm down, but Pearl's really tired, and I might stay with her in the hotel room tonight. And then Jason and I, we look at each other, we're not having it, no way. We're all having a good time tonight. We roll up the elevator, we run to the door, and we go to Tron's and Pearl's door, and we're banging on the door. Bang, 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 bang. We're screaming at the top of our lungs. Let us in, let us in, let us in. Just having a good time. Tron opens the door with a big smile on her face, and we're like, Tron, where's Pearl? We're going to convince her to go. And then Tron, she's in the bathroom. And we're like, oh, she's in the bathroom. Immediately, both of us beeline it, instinctively. We go to the bathroom door. Doors closed, obviously. Same thing. Ah! Banging on the door, banging on the door, banging on the door. We expect us to bother her. To our surprise, and this was not intentional, the door flings open. The door flings open, right? And Pearl just finished the shot. And just to be frank, we basically open the door. Pearl, in her lovely self, she was naked, she's standing in the shower with a little towel, and I just basically, did one of these, and then she proceeded to use a lot of expletives and, tell us to get the hell out of the door, and I swear it was funny because, Jason and I, granted, Pearl's a very lovely lady, but we weren't standing there staring because we were, admiring you per se, but we were just stunned, and we were just laughing the whole time. And literally both of us had our mouths open, and we were just giggling like, what it seemed like probably a minute, just like, finally we proceeded to get out the room, probably to Pearl's chagrin. And then we closed the door. And then, what we should have done as gentlemen is probably, leave the room and apologize. But Pearl reminded me to this part of the story later on that we didn't leave. Instead, we decided to look at each other and say, let's go in the closet and hide in there and then jump out and scare her when she comes out. Because clearly she hasn't had enough of us, So then we did that, but the problem was we were laughing so hysterically that we're giggling in this closet just that Pearl comes out, she's like, I hear you guys laughing there, you guys are dumb. She was better tricks than that. That's for another day. But I remember that so vividly in my head because frankly I remember laughing like a little kid that day. And he was laughing so much like a little kid that day too. And you don't forget those moments, they make you feel younger. And I feel like Jason was the kind of person that just made you feel younger being around him with how he lived his life. And then we went to the club that night. I proceeded to give him a black eye that night because he tried to give me an eye hickey, tried to suck my eye, but I headbutt him. Then I shined her for a while. But besides the point, I think for all of us, he was so much. He was a great source of inspiration. We all have these wonderful stories, these laughs that stay with us, and he was such a role model in so many regards. So I will miss him forever, but he will always be with me. So thank you.